Dr. Roshini Rebecca Easow, Professor retired, Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. Dr. Roshini has recently retired as a professor of Sardar Patel College of Engineering, Mumbai. Coming from an engineering background, she is M.Tech, Heat Transfer and Thermal Power Engineering from IIT Madras and Ph.D. from IIT Bombay with thesis in Desiccant-based air conditioning. Dr. Roshini was the past president of ISHRAE and the past president of ASHRAE Mumbai chapter. She was the technical editor of ISHRAE Guidebook for HVAC Design of Healthcare Facilities 2021. She authored the booklet Best Practices in Installation and Use of Split and Window Air Conditioners, prepared for International Copper Association, India. Today, Dr. Roshini Rebecca Easow will walk us through energy efficiency, a grassroots level look at HVAC industry. So delegates, let's welcome Dr. Roshini.
Yeah, so before I go into the presentation, I'd like to, say thanks actually to one Professor P.L. Dar, who way back in 2001, he wrote a paper which was presented in an ACRE conf, but it's something which makes you really think, and I'll be referring to him as we go along. And of course, ICAP, which everybody knows about. And also you will have to bear with me because I'm a hardcore academician. So I have to tell everything from the basics, So the energy efficiency, it refers to using less energy input to deliver the same service. So I jokingly say it means squeeze every joule of input. And energy efficiency, you can see, I think Achyut or Anish had mentioned that about heat recovery. So energy efficiency can also be increased if we can use the energy that is traditionally rejected from a system. So let's go back to our basics, and we see that the work input is used in every air conditioning system to remove the heat from the air conditioned space, and we are throwing it out. So once we throw it out, we are not concerned at all what happens to it. So our aim to increase the efficiency is to increase the lower temperature and to decrease the upper temperature. So lower temperature means our air conditioned space, and the upper temperature means the sink where we are rejecting it. So now if you look at the current scenario, as an average Indian user, when he has enough money, I'm talking about the people at the very bottom of the pyramid, okay? So when they have enough money, they will buy an air conditioner, and mostly it's a window or a split, and they'll be looking for the lowest price tag. Whatever said and done, it's always for the lowest price tag. They don't have noble ideas like us about the 1.5 degree temperature or anything like that. So you'll find that those of us who are well informed, yes, we will spend more money, and some of the surveys show that people are spending more money, but I think that is restricted to people who are aware, like we are the well-informed people in the society. So now if you look at ICAP, just for residential room AC stock, you can see that it is just increasing tremendously as the years go by. So I am saying that we have to have some behavioral changes. So we need to explain to people that our body temperature is only around 33 degrees. So we can be comfortable even at 25 to 27 degrees. Most people do not understand this, and they will set temperatures very low. Very often I walked into rooms where the temperature is set at 18 degrees. And we at ISHRAE also had some campaigns called 1 degree challenge, saying set the thermostat 1 degree higher, but those are all, I would say, photo ops. I don't know whether it really happens on the ground level. Now, let us talk about the effect of clothing on indoor temperature and energy efficiency. So we are going to look at the insulation which a clothing gives to a human body. So there are some common terms used as the clo and the tog, which is I will explain as we go along. So if you look at this, it's a simple picture which shows you that the lesser insulation is put on your body, or you're more sensibly clothed, you can have your comfort temperatures shifted to the right. That means to the higher temperature range. Okay, so it's common sense. If you put more insulation on your body, obviously you want to put a lower temperature in your room so that you are staying comfortable. So if you go back to the garment insulation values, now there are a lot of studies on these things. So you'll see that a short sleeve shirt has only a 0.19 clo, whereas a suit and a jacket is 0.42. And you will find that even the type of chair affects the clo value. So I jokingly put up this always, that the people on the top slide are those who are selling air conditioners, and those who are on the bottom slide are the politicians whom we may badmouth often, but they wear very sensible clothing, which is good for our Indian climate. And some Indian officers, they are imposing dress codes that usually say formal wear, which is also called shirt and trouser, which is not really good for our Indian climate. So if you look at our history, you find that our ancestors used to wear loose fitting and airy cotton garments at home, suitable for the hot climate. But what happened is when Britishers came, the local people thought that we have to be like them, and therefore they shifted from the attire which you see on the left of the screen to the attire in the right of the screen, which is more British, suitable for British weather, not for the Indian summer. And we continue those trends. So CEPT in Ahmedabad, they have done some interesting studies, and they say that occupants in Indian offices are more adaptive and tolerant of warmer climates. So you don't have to keep them so cold, so long as they wear proper clothing. Now look at this, a typical hotel room where we go to. So you can see the sheets on the bed. They are not the type of sheets we have in our houses. At least I don't have. So you have this thick quilt-like thing which is called the duvet, and you can see from the cross section that these are insulated. There's an insulation. There is something to keep you warm. So if such things are kept in a hotel room, naturally people will tend to keep the thermostat setting lower. And this is uniformly, whatever so-called star hotel you go into, you'll find this kind of beds. They don't put normal bed sheets like we do in our homes. So this is a lighter look at air condition today. I throw out something into my neighbor's environment. So you can see here, every air conditioner is blowing hot air out, and therefore the effect of microclimate comes in and the performance of the system will be affected. Now, this is a very common thing. You will find that the outdoor unit of split air conditioners is just kept there to the open, to the sun and rain and whatnot. And you know that if there is sun onto the ODU, obviously your heat transfer is getting affected, and a simple thing like a sunshade would have done a thing. But these things are never found. Right? Now, one of the main things which I've been telling you from the beginning, that it's about the servicing and the maintenance. So ICAP had put one of their objectives is training and certification of service technicians. And many of us will agree that it's very difficult for us to find proper technicians to come and install our air conditioners. But there's a counterpoint. If we train everybody, they will go away to the Middle East. Okay? So there's a dire need for properly trained technicians and electricians to ensure proper installation. And installation, we all just now said that it's not only a chiller, but the whole system has to be working properly. So you'll find that installation procedures will dramatically affect the lifespan and effectiveness of the air conditioner. And it's easy to cut corners. And once fitted, generally it's only reactive maintenance, that means when it breaks down. So I want to touch upon something which I call the social aspects. Now, when an air conditioned technician comes to a house, do we keep him on our sofa and give him a cup of tea? Very rarely not. We always consider him as somebody who's not on par with, socially not on par with all of, So that's a kind of psychological effect there. And I think we should make this profession more glamorous, in the sense that in West, you'll find that technician comes in a car, he parks his car, he comes in, he does his work and goes away. A plumber, he will drive his car, he'll come and do the plumbing work and go away. So that kind of things is not there in our society. And in early days, the diploma course and the ITI were created for this purpose. But more often than not, since I am from the education field, you'll find that these diploma holders are always going to go for a direct admission to the degree course, and then they become degree engineers. Once they become degree engineers, we have an attitude that the degree engineer is one step above the diploma engineers. And these things are something which are not good for our whole scenario, because we need the technicians for proper installation and maintenance. Of course, there may be some changes in the new education law. So this is what I'm talking about. I go to my house, the system was installed when I was not there. So that guy who came, he put all the copper tubing he had, he put it there and he went away. So later we had to redo it so that neat and the pressure drop has been reduced. Now I'm talking for one AC. So you can imagine the millions of air conditioners which are set up all over India. Now, this was another instance which was there in my own building in Goa. There was this outdoor unit of one family blowing the hot air into the neighboring family. This OD is throwing air directly into the doorway of the other person. And then there was this scenario also, which is not there in the picture. The ODU of this guy is facing the ODU of this person. Now, who installed such a system? Somebody. And the owner didn't object. They said, okay, my room is getting cooled. I'm not bothered. How much electricity does it draw? Nobody cares, because there is no meter which shows that the AC is drawing this current. We get a general electricity bill. So these are the things which are important for proper installation. Now you are talking about, now this is what I saw actually in a bank, BKC, last week. You can see the shut off with a piece of cloth or a canvas. The person sitting underneath said, I'm feeling too cold, so they have just blocked it off with a piece of canvas here. Here again, you find an air outlet which is completely blocked because they said that we are feeling too cold. Now, what happened to the control system in the building? I wouldn't know. Okay, so what I'm saying is we need grassroots interventions where these little things get implemented properly. Another thing which I want to point out is, if you have a Venetian blind, when we are doing cooling load, you'll find that the factor due to inside Venetian blinds is 0.56, whereas if you put it outside, it's 0.15. But most often we'll put it inside because it's convenient for us. But now with so much of automation and all that, we can surely have something on the outside which is moving so that the heat input to the building room is reduced. Again, the use of awnings, that is something like that, which could shade the window. So what I'm talking about is just very ground level, what is actually happening on the ground level. Now, there was something in ICAP which is thermal comfort for economically weaker section and lower income group people. So we could give them roofing sheets which are painted properly with high albedo plates so that the heat is reflected off the roofing of that EWS tenement. And you'll find that even in this Jopadas in Bombay, you'll find people are using air conditioners. They are not bothered about any of these things which we are talking about. So this is something called tubular skylights, which could be used to send in light into this little hutment which is being cooled by an air conditioner. So you can say that if one place it is like that, so imagine the thousands little tenements where the saving is taking place. So all our talk so far was about the high level, up above in the pyramid, whereas I'm talking is very, very ground level. So it's just some ideas which I had. And my question to everybody is, how much are heat pumps being used in the northern regions where you need heating also? All the time I see just electrical heaters. And then we talk about air source heat pump, geothermal heat pump. Those are all topics for another day. Now, there was this little initiative by Vijayawada ISHRAE chapter which said that, why are you keeping unwanted emails in your inbox? So they say that, and that's actually from a book called How Bad Are Bananas? The Carbon Footprint of Everything. So you find that little low-hanging fruits are available for us to make a difference in the larger picture. Yes, all our equipment is energy efficient, all the big systems are energy efficient, they are working properly, we don't disagree with that. But if this is the situation on the very bottom level, you question what really is happening in the higher levels. So I end with that, why did we move from our environment-friendly ways to ape the consumptive style of the West? Why earlier years we went to market with a cloth bag, then we went to plastic, then we realized that plastics were bad, and then we went back to cloth bags. So my, the end of my presentation is just to tell you that it's the little drops of water and the little grains of sand that make the mighty ocean and the pleasant land. That means all these little things will go a long way to achieving our goal. Thank you.